For those of you who do know me, you know that I am a total productivity nerd. I really hate wasting time. I really hate inefficiency, and that is why I love the Octopus Funnel. So when done right, the Octopus Funnel will help you to get qualified leads while you're sleeping. It will help you to nurture those leads and to build up their trust without being pushy or overly salesy. And eventually, it could help you to actually recoup every dollar that you spend on ads long before somebody actually buys your core product. And this is the best part. This is a repeatable system that you can use over and over and over again. So it is really awesome. And here's a sneak peek at what it can look like. But before we dive in, let's talk about Tim. So this is Tim. Tim is the founder of Meetify. Meetify is a B2B SaaS app that helps you to send better cold emails. And Meetify actually works. On average, Tim's customers triple their response rates for open and replies, and they do that in just half the time. Now, Tim's team bootstrapped their MVP, and they got enough early traction to raise a seed round from investors. Suddenly, the pressure was on. It was time for them to grow really, really fast. Now, Tim knows that marketing isn't really his thing. He's more the business guy, the sales guy. So the first thing Tim did was hire a great marketer. So this is Emily. Emily is a recent graduate. Now, she doesn't have a lot of experience yet, which is why Tim was able to hire her so cost effectively. But she's smart and she has a great attitude. So Tim knows she's going to figure it out. Now, when Emily started with Meetify, she tried to do all of the things that you are supposed to do. She improved Meetify's messaging. She started blogging. She created social media accounts and got active. She created the ultimate guide to cold emails, and she used it on their website to collect leads to their newsletter. And when her inbound organic marketing efforts weren't working and they weren't growing fast enough, Emily started using pay-per-click ads to drive traffic to their website. She did all the stuff you are supposed to do, and crickets. So with Emily's help, Meetify was suddenly getting a lot more traffic to their website, but less than 2% of those visitors were actually signing up for their demo or their free trial. And when people did sign up for their demo, a lot of them were just no-shows. They never showed up. Tim didn't get it. Why wasn't it working? Why weren't these visitors signing up and becoming customers? Meetify offered a really good solution, so what's stopping them from taking action? There's even a free trial. After all, there are so many people who needed this solution. Now, Tim knows who his ideal customers are. He's got 3 avatars that he serves: early-stage startup founders, internal sales teams, and freelancers. Now, Tim knows that these audiences are very different, but Meetify works for all of them, so why aren't they buying? After a few months of slow growth, Tim got scared. He hired Jason. Jason is an experienced sales guy. But Jason's experience comes at a cost. He demands a high salary. And on his first day, Jason started dialing for dollars. He makes 50 calls a day. Most of the time, people just hang up on him or politely tell him to go fuck himself. But every now and then, he does get a hit. Now, Tim knows that outbound sales isn't a long-term scalable strategy, but he doesn't know what else to do. He's burning through his seed money, and if Tim can't figure out something fast, his company won't survive. Does Tim's story sound familiar to anybody here? Well, it should, because Tim is not alone. For years, content marketing and social media have been seen as the holy grail for us marketers. Marketers could create awesome content like blogs and videos and share it in social media to generate cheap organic traffic. But content marketing has changed. People are just completely and totally overwhelmed by content, especially business people like us. Did you know that we consume over 12 hours of content every single day? By content, I mean things like reading blog posts or emails, listening to podcasts or radio, or watching TV or video. And the average executive gets 250 emails every single day. We are content-consuming machines, and because there is just so much content coming at us all of the time, we have become exceptionally choosy about what we're willing to pay attention to and what we will completely ignore. If we see something that doesn't immediately capture our attention and speak to our very specific at-the-moment needs, we tune out. The average person has an 8-second attention span, which is less than a goldfish, which is 9 seconds. And this has led to a phenomenon called content shock. The basic idea of content shock is that there's too much content being produced for us to ever possibly consume at all. So it's becoming more competitive and much more expensive to get content in front of your audience. And marketers like me are feeling the squeeze. Buffer is a social media sharing app. They produce a lot of really high quality content. And in 2015, they saw a 50% drop in organic referral traffic from social media. Well, that's because Facebook has been changing their algorithm, and they're still changing their algorithm. If you have a Facebook page, today, only about 2% of your most active page followers are actually going to see the content that you share in their newsfeed. Facebook knows that people are overwhelmed by marketing messages, and this was creating a really bad user experience for Facebook users. So now Facebook has basically become pay to play. If you want to get your content in front of the right people, you're going to need to pay for ads. And BuzzSumo shared even scarier stats. So Buffer, Copyblogger, and Moz produce some of the best content on the planet, arguably. And in 2015, they saw their social shares plummet. They analyzed 1 million blog posts, and what they found was that their average piece of content that they wrote, a blog post that might take somebody 2 to 3 days to create, was getting an average of 8 shares only. This means that they were spending big bucks to create great content, but because it wasn't getting shared, they weren't getting as much traffic. And without getting as much traffic, they were getting fewer sales. And if a $100 million company like Buffer is struggling to get people to engage with their content, what chance does poor Tim have? Tim knows that he can't rely on content and social media alone to drive organic traffic. He's willing to invest in ads, but ads aren't working either. He doesn't have the time to wait for organic traffic. Neil Patel is a content marketing specialist, and according to Neil, he says it can take up to a year of investing in a blog before you start to see the ROI. This is not going to work for Tim. He's got a 1-year runway. He can't wait a year for ROI. Okay, so he's going to pay for ads, but they're not working. Right now, Tim spends an average of $1.50 a click on ads. Only about 2% of those website visitors sign up for a demo. And if those 20 leads, only about 5% of them actually become Meetify customers. So Tim's paying $1,500 on ads just to get 1 new customer. And that doesn't even include paying Emily or Jason for their time. And since Meetify only has a year-long runway, meaning that's how much investor money they have to sustain the business, and an annual Meetify membership is $1,000, this is not a sustainable strategy. Tim will fail. And Tim needs to find a way to dramatically reduce their customer acquisition cost. And the fastest way to do that is to capture more leads on their website and turn more of those leads into customers. But only 2% of visitors right now are signing up for their demo. Why aren't people watching the demo? Well, because studies show that 67% of people would rather do their own research than talk to a salesperson about a product. And here's a scarier stat. 73% of qualified leads, these are people who know about your business, have potentially talked to your salesperson, they're still not ready to buy yet. So what is the answer? Lead nurturing. Lead nurturing is the process of helping to nurture your leads along your sales funnel. Companies that use lead nurturing see an average of 450% growth in qualified prospects, and that results in 50% higher sales for 33% less money spent on advertising. Yeah, lead nurturing is really awesome. And the Octopus Funnel is the ultimate way to nurture your leads. So here's what we're going to learn today. What is the Octopus Funnel? Who should use it and who shouldn't? How to create a read magnet, how to create a lead magnet, how to create an intro offer that helps to build trust with your customer before the big sell of your core offer, how to create a core offer that is really awesome, the thing you wanted to sell to them in the first place, and then how to use paid traffic at each stage of your funnel and potentially even recoup every dollar that you spend on ads so that your leads become free. And lastly, you're going to learn the one thing that you need to do before you start any of this. Okay, so if you stick around to the end, I'm also going to tell you how you can get a free version of this cheat sheet, and it's going to help you to map out your first Octopus Funnel tentacle. Okay, so what is the Octopus Funnel? An Octopus Funnel is made up of multiple tentacles. Each tentacle is a standalone funnel that pushes to your core offer. Your core offer, it's the head of your octopus. The goal of each tentacle is to push leads through from I don't know you exist through to buying your core offer. And each funnel is super specific. You're not trying to solve all of your customers' pains at once. Instead, you're using a very specific solution to one very specific problem and building trust and adding value along the whole funnel. At each stage of your funnel, you're creating urgency and you're motivating your leads to take action. That's really important. And you do this by using time-sensitive offers that are exclusively available to people within the funnel. These aren't listed anywhere else on your website. And this is what's called an evergreen funnel, meaning that once you create it, you're going to use it for an extended period of time. You're going to continue to drive leads to this. It's not necessarily going to replace the other things that you're doing with inbound marketing. It won't replace your podcast or your social media or your blog, but you can use those channels to push traffic inside of your funnel. And you can start with just one funnel, but an effective Octopus funnel is made up of multiple tentacles or multiple funnels, and they're all leading back to your core offer, hence the name, the Octopus Funnel. Okay, so why haven't you heard of this before? Well, startup founders are under this enormous pressure to grow really, really quickly. They want quick fixes and growth hacks. They want week-over-week growth. And creating just one nurture funnel or octopus tentacle, it can take up to 3 to 6 weeks to do it right. It can be a big investment. But most startups are too impatient to invest in this kind of solution. And I should know because I was one of those startups. I launched my startup in 2014. Vendiv was a social network for women entrepreneurs. We got early traction. Forbes was calling us the next LinkedIn for women, but we struggled to raise the venture capital money that we needed to scale. Eventually, we pivoted to more of a SaaS model, and we were trying to grow on revenue. By the time I discovered the Octopus Funnel, it was way too late for my company. I had already burned through all of my seed capital trying quick fixes and growth hacks, things that didn't work in the long run. But it doesn't mean that it needs to be too late for you. So, who is already doing this really well? Well, internet marketers. People like Jill and Josh Stanton from Screw the 9 to 5, which is an online website. They use the Octopus Funnel to build a $2 million a year business that they operate with a 4-person team and a handful of freelancers. Neil Patel uses a variation of the Octopus Funnel in each of his 4 multi-million-dollar businesses. Neil is the founder of Quickspro, Crazy Egg, and Kissmetrics, and he also sells online training through a personal brand. Neil personally brings in about $15 million a year across all of these businesses, all using lead nurturing, pushing people to his core offers. And Russell Brunson is pretty much the godfather of the automated sales funnel. Russell used the Octopus Funnel to grow a bunch of multi-million-dollar businesses, and then he built ClickFunnels. And ClickFunnels is a funnel building software so that he could build his businesses faster. Today, ClickFunnels has over 50,000 customers, and it's worth about $360 million. And the crazy thing about Russell's story, he didn't even take investor money to grow. He bootstrapped the whole thing with revenue from his other businesses, all of which were using funnels. So yeah, this stuff works. The great thing about the Octopus Funnel is that once you know how to create it once, it is a repeatable process that you can use over and over and over again. Okay, so let's explore the anatomy of a funnel. Here's a look at just one tentacle in your Octopus Funnel. It's made up of a read magnet, a lead magnet, an intro offer, and a core offer. Now, some businesses might have more steps in their funnel depending on the nature of their business, but this is typically a starting place. And each stage of your funnel is connected by targeted ads, and you'll use automated emails, direct messages, and sales support to nurture leads through the funnel. Your funnel or your tentacle starts with your read magnet. A read magnet is an awesome piece of free content that solves one specific problem for one specific customer. This could be a blog post, a video, or even a live event like this one. The important thing about your read magnet is it must be free and ungated, meaning people do not have to pay for it and they don't have to give you their email to consume it. They can just come and get it. A read magnet should be very easy and convenient to consume, which is why blog posts or videos can often make really great read magnets. You don't want people to have to jump through hoops to consume it. Now remember Tim? Let's explore Tim's first read magnet. So before, Tim was selling to 3 avatars, the startup founders, freelancers, and salespeople. That is not going to fly here. We know that each of these audiences is very different, and we need to speak to them very differently. So instead of just trying to come up with one thing that's going to work for all of them, the idea of the tentacle funnel is to create one tentacle that works for one specific audience, one solution that serves one specific pain point. Startup founders are typically the easiest to convert. They found that through research, so Tim decides to start with them. And Tim's customer development research shows that one of the main reasons that startup founders use Meetify is they're hoping to use it to send more cold emails to venture capitalists so they can fund their startup. This is an awesome topic for a read magnet. So Emily writes a really great post called How to Get VCs to Reach Out to You Without a Warm Intro. Now, I know when I was raising money that if I would have seen that shared somewhere, I would have been clicking on it. I would want to know how to do that. And this read magnet is the start of Meetify's first tentacle. It's the first step in the funnel, and creating the right read magnet is essentially the most important part of this entire process. You never want to just assume that you know what your audience wants. You want to test it, and I can't I can't say that enough. You want to test it. So how do you test it? You can test it quickly by auditing your competition. So you could use a tool like SimilarWeb that's going to show you how your competitors are getting their traffic, and it can help you to see what they're doing. It could work for you as well. You can survey your current customers. You can send them surveys by emails. You can go inside of Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups and ask them questions. And most importantly, call them up and ask them questions, because they'll tell you things when you're speaking to them that you can't get from a survey. And once you have an idea and you think you know what they might want for a lead magnet, a great way for a final test is set up a landing page where you say what the lead magnet is going to be. You give a little bit of a description, and you allow people to sign up on a wait list to get it when it's ready. Then you use paid traffic ads to push people through to that lead magnet. If nobody clicks on your ads and nobody signs up for your wait list, there's a chance that they're not interested in that topic and you need to look elsewhere. There's also a chance that you might be targeting the wrong audience. So there's different things to test there. And you want to see, most importantly, you just want to see that your audience is actually interested in your lead magnet long before you start building it out. So here are a few tips for creating a great lead magnet. You want to be hyper-specific and concise. You want to remember that people have a very short attention span, so they must be all about them. They have to know what the value is right away. And this is not a sales pitch. Readers should not have to sign up for your product to get value from your lead magnet. The goal with your lead magnet is to give them a real solution to their problem. And your lead magnet should be insanely helpful all on its own. They should be able to get so much value from your lead magnet that they want to take action right away. And luckily for them, you're going to make that easier for them in the next step. So the next stage of your funnel is what's called your lead magnet. A lead magnet is a free value add that helps your customer to make a better use of consuming your lead magnet. Basically, it's like a content upgrade. It upgrades the content. Now, this could be another piece of content, such as a checklist, a webinar, a worksheet, an email course, audio downloads, some type of step-by-step blueprint, done-for-you graphics, or done-for-you copy, or you could even use a tool. CoSchedule uses their headline analyzer to capture more leads. And Proposify created an industry-specific proposal templates that visitors can start using right away with their free trial. So lead magnets are free, but to access them, your target audience needs to complete a specific action, like subscribing to your email list or giving you their phone number. And a lead magnet gives you permission to now communicate with this person, and that's really important. But it also gives them a quick win that directly relates back to the lead magnet. Okay, so Tim knows that his ideal customers are busy startup founders who do not have any time to waste. So for his lead magnet, he decides to create a collection of done-for-you email templates that they can just copy and paste into their emails when they write VCs. This is perfect, right? Founders are busy, copy and paste. Now, let's talk about lead magnets. A lead magnet should be specifically designed to enhance your lead magnet. Again, with Tim's example, the blog taught people how to reach out to VCs with cold emails, and then his lead magnet gave them pre-written templates so they could just go and do it. And you want to make it insanely easy for your potential customer to get and consume your lead magnet. You can use tools like Lead Pages, ClickFunnels, HubSpot, ActiveCampaign, and Unbounce. These are all software tools that allow you to create lead pages and then also to send digital assets via email all in an automated sequence with just a few clicks for your customer. And lead magnets must give quick and easy wins, and this is the most important piece. Someone should be able to consume your lead magnet quickly and put it to work immediately. This is not the place for a 100-page guide, which is the ultimate guide to everything. You do not want them to take a lot of time to have to consume this, because if they do and they don't end up using your lead magnet, they don't get value from it. And then if they don't get value from it, you're going to lose their attention. Okay, so once somebody signs up to access your lead magnet, now you have permission to market to them directly. By opting in, this customer has admitted that they have a problem and they are looking for a solution. This is important because this is what's called a qualified lead. And what happens after they get your lead magnet? How do you keep that momentum going? Smart companies will use an automated sequence that's designed to turn leads into customers. But just because somebody downloaded your free lead magnet does not mean that they are ready to buy your core offer yet. Like I said, 73% of qualified leads are not ready to buy yet. And the bigger your ask, the more you're going to need to nurture those leads. For instance, if your core offer is expensive, requires an ongoing commitment, like maybe a monthly subscription, or is a big time investment for them to get started, maybe you have to leave one platform to join yours, you're going to need to work even harder to get those customers' trust and nurture them down your funnel. Okay, so if you're Tim, what do? You don't want to turn customers off by jumping to the big sales pitch too soon, but you also do not want to lose the momentum that you've built with them. At this stage in your funnel, a potential customer knows that they have a problem, and what you need to do is give them a damn good reason to take action now. Enter the intro offer. An intro offer is a limited time offer that is only available to people who opted in to your lead magnet. This is also sometimes called a tripwire. Consumer psychology shows time and time again that people are actually more afraid of losing out on something than they are of gaining something. So if you make your intro offer, you want to be sure that you're creating scarcity and a sense of urgency. You want to offer a highly valuable solution that is just too good to miss. And the intro offer requires your target customer to make a commitment in order to claim the offer. And the intro offer should deliver massive value that directly relates back to your funnel and the reason that your funnel was developed in the first place. So Tim knows that his potential customer signed up for his lead magnet because they want to email more VCs. And sure, Tim knows that Meetify is going to help them to send better cold emails. He could even push them to his free trial, right? Well, not so fast, because using Meetify won't help them solve their current problem that they have right now. They don't have the contact information for any of the VCs that they want to email yet. So they can use Meetify, but it's going to be empty. This gives Tim an idea. He knows that there are scripts developers use to build tools that can actually go out and scrape contact information off of LinkedIn. Now, most people don't know how to do this, and it's something that they would pay for, and it makes it an awesome intro offer for Tim. Tim decides to create an easy tool that will scrape LinkedIn profiles, and to sweeten the deal, he provides an extensive list of VCs organized by industry, investment fund, and area. Tim bundles this all up, and he offers it as a package that he sells for $29. Tim's intro offer gives his target customer exactly what they need right now, which is more VC leads. But it also does something else that's really important. It changes the nature of this person's relationship with Meetify from a lead to a customer. And this is why that's important. When somebody becomes your customer, they are far, far more likely to buy from you again. The probability of selling to a new customer is 5 to 10%, whereas the probability of selling to an existing customer is 60 to 70%. So creating a relative, time-sensitive intro offer that you know that your audience is really getting a huge value from will help more people to get to your core offer. So here's how to do it right. Your intro offer should be specific and relevant to your lead magnet, and your core offer. Your intro offer should deliver massive value for the price. Typically, it should be a no-brainer. It makes it easy for them to say yes, something like under $100. And you should present your intro offer immediately after they've consumed your lead magnet. Not all people are going to buy at that very moment, but some will. And you want to make it extremely easy for your target customer to buy and consume your intro offer. So you definitely want to think about what could stop them from buying, what are their objections, and make sure you answer that in your sales copy. The most important thing is that you must make this time sensitive. Your goal is to create urgency for customers by offering this only for a limited amount of time. It's only available within this funnel, it's not available on the website, and it's only available for a limited amount of time. So the next step is your core offer. Your core offer is the last stage in your funnel. Your core offer is your real moneymaker. It is the product or service that you wanted to sell from the beginning. It's the whole funnel that you designed was to get them to this offer. Now, in Tim's case, his core offer is an annual Meetify membership, which typically costs $1,000 a year. And that's a pretty big investment. And like I said, 73% of leads aren't ready to buy yet. But now that Tim knows exactly how his target customer can use Meetify to connect with more VCs, he can tailor all of his messages specifically to helping them solve that problem. In Tim's case, he knows that if he can get people to try Meetify and to create a few cold emails, they will become customers. So what Tim does is he offers an extended free trial to anybody who bought the intro offer. There's just one catch. To claim the extended free trial, they need to jump on a call with Jason, Meetify's sales guy. Now this is not just a generic demo. Jason is going to, wait for it, help them to email their first VC. So during the setup call, Jason knows exactly what the customer needs help with, so he can make his whole presentation go towards that area. And it's easy for Jason to showcase the value of Meetify because he can be specific and use specific examples about how other customers have used the product to connect with VCs. And at the end of the setup call, after the customer has seen exactly what Meetify can do for them, Jason offers them a chance to get Meetify for 50% off if they commit to an annual membership. And of course, this is a limited time offer that they can only get if they act fast. Now, some customers are going to say yes on the spot, and those are the best ones, but other people are not going to be so sure. They're going to need more time to think about it. These are people that I like to call the fence sitters. And a great way to get fence sitters to act is by de-risking your investment. So this could mean offering them a money-back guarantee. For instance, in Meetify's case, if they use the product, they send 10 cold emails, and they don't get the results that they want, he'll give them their money back. So throughout the sales call, Jason already knows how the customer is going to use Meetify. He knows the potential objections that they have, and he can answer those before they even ask the questions. And rather than demoing a bunch of random features, Jason helps the customer to complete a task, and he helps them to complete their goal, emailing VCs. The customer gets a quick win, and Jason gets the sale. So once the customer has experienced the value firsthand and understands how they can use it, it's so much easier for them to commit to their membership. So here are a few tips for creating a killer core offer. People are more trusting of other people. If possible, try to have a live call or a demo with potential customers so that you can build trust. This doesn't always need to be one-to-one. You can do this using webinars. You can use this using Facebook Live. But the goal is to make the customer feel like your team is reachable and human. And if possible, it's great if your customers can somehow sample the value of what you do, always tailoring back that trial, that experience to their immediate goals. And you want to make your core offer irresistible by using an exclusive buying incentive and then creating urgency. And whenever possible, help fence sitters to hop over the fence by de-risking the offer for them. Okay, so that is the Octopus Funnel in a nutshell. Getting a stranger to commit to spending $1,000 on your product is no easy feat, but as you can see, the Meetify team gave them every reason to say yes. So let's quickly review what we learned. With the Read Magnet, Tim gave them highly valuable information that spoke to a very specific pain that he already knew that they had with absolute certainty. And with his Lead Magnet, he helped them to save time by giving them a quick win that they could use and act on immediately. With his intro offer, Tim identified a big challenge that they had related back to his funnel, and he offered them a high-value, low-cost solution that they could not say no to. And with his core offer, Tim got them to commit to trying his product by showing them exactly how they would use it, and then tailoring the sales pitch to make it irresistible. When Jason finally got the customer on the phone, he didn't have to guess what to say. He knew exactly what features he should highlight. He already knew exactly what the customer cared about. This is pretty cool, right? So Tim's team gave massive value along each stage of this funnel. And in giving real value, they built trust, and they were able to take these people and make them customers. But do you see something else that Tim did here? He helped the customer to solve one problem, but he also revealed a new problem that they also needed help with. This is what's called creating the gap. So as a marketer, it is our job to help customers to see where our products fit inside their life. People want solutions that solve their problems. But sometimes the problems that your product solves are too big and complex to explain very simply. Your product might do 15 things really, really well, but if you try to explain them all at once, your customers can easily get overwhelmed, especially if they are making a big commitment of time or money. So one of the best ways to help them overcome the overwhelm is to break your funnel up into a series of micro commitments. Each step in your funnel, you want to isolate and solve one problem while also exposing another challenge. This is what's called the gap. With his Read Magnet, Tim gave readers step-by-step instructions on how to send cold emails that would actually get opened. Readers now knew what to do at a high level, but they didn't know how to do it. When Tim introduces his Lead Magnet, his email scripts, he's also answering the next logical question. What should I write in these emails? This is another gap. The email templates help to solve that problem, but then Tim exposes another gap. Now that you know how to write emails, and who should you send them to? Tim solves this problem with his intro offer, a $29 intro offer that they need to solve their problem, which is to contact more VCs. And lastly, Tim can use this as an opportunity to create another gap. Once his target customer knows what to do, how to do it, and who to send the emails to, they still need to go out and do it. And that takes a massive amount of time. And time is something that busy startup founders do not have. But by using Meetify, Tim promises the customer that they'll be able to double or triple the results in half the time. He's already given them all of the tools that they need to be successful in achieving their goal. Meetify is just their final tool. Tim actually didn't need to sell them on Meetify at all. He just needed to agitate a pain that they already knew they had and then show them the solution. And along each step of the funnel, Tim identified specific challenges that they have, and one by one, he answered all of these objections while also agitating a new pain and pushing them further down the funnel. Each step is a micro commitment, and with each micro commitment, Tim pushes them closer and closer to his core offer. So this is awesome, and this is what lead nurturing is, and this is how you can create a lead nurturing machine. Tim now has a lead nurturing machine, but he has one pretty large problem. Nobody knows about it yet. So Tim needs traffic. Tim can't rely on SEO alone to get new leads to his lead magnet. And if you're in a super competitive niche, it can actually take months to build up your Google ranking. So most startups don't have that kind of time, and Tim doesn't. They need a much faster solution. And as you already saw, you can't solely rely on social media shares to get people to come to your website. So we content marketers, we swear by what's called the 20-80 rule when it comes to getting organic content, meaning that you want to spend about 20% of your time producing content and 80% of your time distributing that content. But guess what? There are lots of ways that you can distribute that content and get organic growth, and a lot of them work really well. Like you can do things like building partnerships, engaging influencers, recirculating your content using a social media tool like Edgar or CoSchedule, getting press attention, encouraging social sharing. All of this stuff is awesome. However, it all takes a lot of time to do it right, and it dissipates over time. When the content's not fresh anymore, people aren't as interested. And you do not want to spend all this time building out this awesome lead engine and then not give it the fuel that it needs to be successful, leads. So, is it moving for you guys? All right. The bitter truth is that if you want to get consistent, reliable traffic to your lead magnet, you are pretty much going to have to pay for it. Now, that is the bad news. The good news is that if you play your cards right, you can use the revenue from your intro offer to neutralize your ad spend so you're getting leads for free. So here's what that looks like. So if you can get 1,000 visitors, these are just random numbers, if you can get 1,000 visitors for $1 per click and 20% of those people actually sign up to download your lead magnet, then you're paying about $5 a lead. And then if 35 of those 200 people actually buy your intro offer, well, then you just made $1,015. And since you only paid $1,000 for your ads, that means that you are getting new leads into your business for free. In fact, in Tim's case, he's actually making a little bit of money on his intro offer. And now, every person who buys his core offer is pure profit. This is pretty cool. Now, I certainly cannot promise that you're going to hit these numbers. It's going to take a lot of optimization and like tinkering and playing to get there, but it's definitely possible. You definitely want to be optimizing your funnel all of the time, and you want to be pushing your visitors through each step. And you can do this by using a combination of outbound channels like email, sales calls, and also targeted ads. So we don't have a lot of time left today for me to go through how to do your ads and basically how to connect the different steps in your funnel. But I just want to say so we're going to run through it kind of quickly. There are multiple advertising platforms. They all have their own nuances. There's many different marketing automation tools that you can be using, and each one works differently. So we're not going to get into the weeds, but there are just a few things that I want you to know. The first ad you create, it just has one purpose, and that is getting people to view your lead magnet. Unlike a typical ad, this should never be salesy. It should just feel like a piece of content that people see organically in their newsfeed. It shouldn't feel like a pitch. Facebook ads and Google ads are the most popular, but there are lots of other platforms that you should try out depending on where your audience is hanging out. You should know that cold traffic is typically the most expensive traffic to get to convert to leads. You will need to test different ads and audiences and optimize your results along the way to reduce your cost per lead. Now, not everybody who reads your lead magnet is going to sign up for it. Some of them are going to get busy or they're going to forget, but you can use remarketing ads to keep reminding them. Put ads out in market saying, hey, you forgot your lead magnet. You can still get it for the next 24 hours. Now, remarketing ads are typically cheaper than cold traffic because these people already know you exist. They're familiar with your brand. They're willing to click on your ads. And once somebody opts into your lead magnet, you are not done. Now you can use remarketing ads and emails, direct messages, and even sales to nurture them down your funnel. These ads and emails are not just these generic, hey, we exist, buy our product stuff. Each call to action in all of these ads, all of these emails, all of these texts, it's all very specific to their goal within this funnel, which in this case is to get more leads, talk to more VCs. So this is a personalized sales experience, and that's what makes this funnel so crazy, crazy powerful. Okay, so each tentacle of your Octopus funnel is highly targeted, highly personalized, and each funnel is designed to nurture customers from not knowing you exist through to your core offer. And this is just one tentacle in the Octopus funnel. Imagine how powerful your funnel could be with just this one tentacle. Now imagine if you had 3 of these funnels, or 6 of these funnels, all optimized for maximum impact. Can you see the potential of what this could do for your business? Just imagine how your customers would respond if rather than using generic messages that you hope that they're going to respond to, you've created very highly personalized messages that spoke to their specific need at the moment. How quickly would that grow your business? You could be the next Neil Patel, you could be the next Russell Brunson. Remember, nurtured leads buy 50% more and cost 33% less on average. So even if you just got the average results, how much could that change your business? That's why lead nurturing is so powerful. Okay, so we covered a lot today. I appreciate everybody's time. We talked about what is an Octopus funnel, who should use it and who shouldn't, how to create a lead magnet, how to create a lead magnet, how to create an intro offer that helps you to build trust with your customer before you go to your big sell, which is your core offer, how to sell customers on your core offer using urgency, and how to use paid traffic for each stage of your funnel and recoup every dollar that you spend so your leads basically become free. And we talked about what's the one thing that you need to do first. So what is the one thing you need to do first? Well, you need to get your whole team on board with this strategy. Like I said in the beginning, creating just one Octopus funnel is a big investment. It can take 3 to 6 weeks to do it right if you're having one marketer work on it on their own. And I know from experience that 3 to 6 weeks feels like an absolute lifetime in a startup. But once this is in place, this tentacle becomes an automated lead engine, and you can go on to creating your next one. So you definitely want to do this right. You have to get your team involved, and you have to tell them that it's going to be worth the time commitment. And I want to help you make that easy. So I've created this cheat sheet, which is basically going to allow you to map out your entire funnel. You can download this, print it, take it back to your team, share it with them, and you can get it at katelynbourgoin.com/octopus. And when you sign up to get this, I'm also going to send you a copy of this presentation by video so that you can have this to reflect back on, your team can look at it, and ultimately this is going to be what you need to get started with your funnel.